Hi and welcome to this video for you who may be wondering if your mother is in fact a narcissist. So perhaps you have felt that there is something really wrong inside your family and perhaps you've wondered about her. I want you to know that lots of us have had such a awakening gradually, and often we are also quite mature when we start to really see what's going on, because this is a really kind of concealed, can be a very concealed thing. The emotional, it's a lot on the emotional level, and it can be really hard to understand what's really going on. And what you might be feeling is that you blame yourself a lot, that you feel like you've got very low self-worth, that you feel shame around yourself a lot, that you feel guilt for almost anything, and that you're really lost and confused. And there are two directions people go in. Some people just get a lot of feelings and overwhelmed with feelings the whole time, and they don't understand why. So that's really stressful. I used to be like that, on a sort of carousel of feelings during every day and not understanding why, just being very reactive, and that made me feel really bad about myself. The other direction it can go in is also like, perhaps you are the ice queen, the person that you know that you've got less of a mimic in your face, less of an emotional expression, and that can also be a way of surviving a narcissistic mother. Narcissism is across a spectrum, and we all have different combinations of personality traits, and some are more positive and others are more difficult. There are people who are classic textbook narcissistic, and there are different types of them. Any person needs to be seen by a qualified professional. But you can see if you recognize this in your life, in your relationship. So let's look at 10 signs that may point you in the direction that your mother is a narcissist. The first one is that she doesn't care about your feelings and needs much. She cares about her feelings and needs. She cares about herself. This is very unlike a normal mother, who most of us as normal mothers, we love our children to bits, and we're not always perfect mothers, but there is that foundation of true love and true care, and we will go through fire for our children. This is a mother who expects the opposite of you, to walk through fire in your childhood for her. And it's partly because she lacks empathy. So what are signs that a mother lacks empathy? So like, you might have been very neglected growing up. You might have been ignored. You might have been forgotten. Nobody asked how you were. Nobody paid attention to what was going on inside of you, how you felt, if you were happy, if you weren't happy. It all just, nobody tended to that side of you. So she's neglectful as part of lacking her empathy, because she only has empathy and true real feelings about herself. And if you then try to get, if you do suffer and you try to speak up for yourself or assert yourself or something, she'll just flip into being a victim, that you are demanding something of her and that you're being difficult, and so she makes you feel guilty, and you don't get anywhere with this. A normal mother would have paid attention to you and tried to see if there was something she could truly actually do for you, and perhaps even admitting that she hadn't been so attentive and so on. Your narcissistic mother is not going to have any of that. She's just going to be a victim to you being difficult and demanding of her, when you're actually just speaking for your really valid needs. She may in fact also see that you're suffering emotionally, and she might have a more sadistic side to her, which gloats, where she actually gets narcissistic feeds of seeing that her child, who's depending on her, whom she can control, is actually suffering emotionally. So this is a side that's completely abnormal for a normal mother. But you might recognize this, and that's a really red flag for you to pay attention to. That means something. There's something wrong, seriously wrong with her empathy, and in fact has a sadistic streak as well. That could be a narcissistic mother. Obviously, there are personality traits, and I'll give you a whole set of things. And if there are many of them, then you may begin to think in that direction. But nobody can, and see if it's helpful to you. But most narcissists never get a formal diagnosis because they don't feel like they've got a problem. So it's more a matter of living with these people and trying to recognize things and see so that you can protect yourself and know the truth about your own, why you're feeling the way you do. Because coming out of a narcissistic upbringing, we end up feeling really disconnected from ourselves, really lost, and really suffering from that. So, but she could also, her lack of empathy means that you're not on her radar. So if you're a child, I remember getting deep sunburns, having to go to the doctor later, getting big plasters on my back, because they're not paying attention. So point number 2 is that she sees you as an object. She only relates to, in that relationship, she only considers that she is there, actually. You're there physically, but emotionally, you're not really there. So for you, you might be feeling like, she's got the attitude of, it's my way or the highway, or it's like talking to a wall. So she's always right. She never really, when she sees you as an object, she's okay with playing favorites in the family and like splitting siblings and so on. Her lack of empathy means also that she can do this. Most normal mothers want their children to develop good, solid sibling relationships, to be real assets in the life of each other, to be full of warmth and love and support for each other. But this mother doesn't. If she can split her siblings, her children, then she can influence them differently, and so that means she can have control over them, and also she can have that control coming as they grow up, as you grow up, and so on. So that means that she can control more of the family relationships, and you're all just objects in her, in this to her. So she'll never ask about you. She'll just perhaps talk to you, perhaps not talk to you, perhaps dump on you, perhaps whatever. It's just all about her. So point number 3 is that she is controlling the entire family system. So there's a big pressure all the time to buy into, look away from your own inner truth, from your own conscience, from your own empathy, and to really submit to the trance, the sort of the story of everything. So that's how she can get you to be maybe a scapegoat to her. So anything bad is your fault. That really then does make you the bad one, and then everyone else in the family can wash their hands and put it on you, and everyone buys into it. So without mercy, she will ostracize you emotionally from your entire family when you're a child, which is so hard to experience as a child. It's how can I even begin to put words on it? But that's what she can do. And this is what many people have experienced, being a scapegoat in their own family with their mothers. So she's also got other ways of controlling you. She will be manipulative. She's a really skilled manipulator. She she can affect you if you tell her about your decisions. She can make you turn around, and all of a sudden you got a different opinion to what you just had, and so on. She can gaslight you, deny what she said, deny what you remember, tell you you've got it wrong. She can create mind games and power games, and this is like an entire world that's really disturbed, that's real to her, and she pulls you into it. And the sad thing is then that you go out into the world with that experience of this crazy inner world that she has, and lots of people out there didn't have to deal with this, so it's not actually part of their personality, it's not the part of their reality. They don't know about it, so that's also why it can be so hard that you get so alone in experiencing the loneliness inside of your family, and then also outside, because how is anyone going to believe this? It's too crazy. But the thing is, it's real. We know it's real. You know it's real. I know it's real. I know lots of people who experienced that this was real for them, and so on. But this kind of gaslighting and manipulation and power games and mind games with you, it really does affect your relationship to yourself, your expectation of others, what people are like, what the world is like, and so on. And it really injures you in a lot of these areas. So just looking at my overview here. Point number 5, she'll compete with you, and she needs to be one up over you. Lots of narcissistic mothers, they need to be better than you, they need to be have bigger house than you, fancier car than you, they need to, whatever it is that her currencies are, she needs to be better. She's arrogant, and these people are arrogant, they are entitled, they are grandiose. Maybe it doesn't even show, because she can be covert, so she may not be it so that lots of other people can see it, but she is it inside of herself. She needs to be one up over you. So of course, when you grow up and you get older, and perhaps you grow up to be a beautiful young woman or a beautiful young man, she, instead of being happy and proud of you, well, she might be happy and proud of you because that looks good on her, for her. So as in using you as an object for her. But true happiness and pride for you, these things are more a threat to her position of being more having power over you, and so on. She feels it more as a threat, and she can become this is a situation where you have, for instance, you realize that your own mother is really envious and jealous of you, which is crazy to think about, that our mothers are jealous of us. It's just unheard of, but that's the truth. These mothers are this way. And point number 6 is that she'll dismiss and invalidate you constantly. She doesn't see you, she doesn't hear you, she doesn't take an interest in you. Your opinions don't matter, and she'll just you get so used to being brushed off and minimized the whole time that this is the trap, that you might actually develop that kind of relationship to yourself. You internalize that relationship from how your mother treats you, and it becomes a blind spot in you that you end up being this way with yourself. And if you're watching this and this resonates with you, I would go ahead and grab my self-invalidation quiz, because if you have this pattern, you set yourself up for continually being in relationship dysfunction as an adult. So that self-invalidation quiz is just a small PDF, but it speaks directly to this issue, and you can see just becoming aware of what self-invalidation looks like and just beginning to pay attention to it can already set you on a much better path. So do grab that if you're watching this, and there's a link in the description to this video. And point number 7 is that you experience conditional love. I don't know if I would even call it love, but it's too painful for a child to see that there is no love there. So we try to see what isn't there. And but you do experience it as being very conditional. You only get accepted and loved, or you only get if you are like this or that, if you do this and that. There's no unconditional love for you as a person, no matter what. You never get that experience. And if you don't do what she says, then you will experience being punished for it, or being love being taken away from you. So you need to be like this or that, or perform, or be perfect, or these are the ground seeds for growing into a good girl, dynamic, a man who's pleasing women the whole time, so then he never gets respect. He never ends up with a good relationship because, or it's a woman doing it. Yeah, so you can see that these foundations for really struggling in our lives are laid here in this relationship with our mothers. What I've found as well is that so the normal assertion of a child, which happens throughout our growing up, but especially in the teenage years, where we really need to become more independent and separate ourselves psychologically from our parents. This is seen as a major threat to your mother. Her emotional immaturity means that she sees this as a threat and something undesirable that she doesn't want to have. So you are wronged and shamed for it and punished, and there are consequences for this. So instead of actually supporting your normal development and helping you through it and being loving and accepting and unconditional in her stance of love to you, this can really cause you a lot of pain in this situation, and repercussions in terms of how you move on in your relational patterns later on. So point number 9 is that she constantly needs to be the center of attention. So this can be things like, if you talk about yourself, she'll turn it around to being about her. It means that if you are winning, it's seen to be not because you're good, but because she's your mother, or something like that. It's all referenced back to her. I feel it like when people are like this, it's like someone hoovers and vacuums the... There's a plane outside, actually. I hope you can still hear me, but she sucks the air out of the room and into herself. Like, we all end up depleted and completely energyless and sucked dry around her, because the narcissistic mother has such a great need for being the center of attention. And point number 2 is that she doesn't respect your boundaries, because she doesn't respect you. She doesn't see you. You are an extension of her, so she may cross your boundaries. She may keep you too close. She may be too neglectful and distant to you to look after you properly. There are lots of, or she can mingle it. There are so many different possibilities here. But for instance, issues around privacy, issues around allowing you to grow into becoming yourself and supporting that, she doesn't do that. She may just not like you having your own personhood, so she'll be working against you and so on. So I've come to the end of this, and I want to say that if you resonate with this, then do consider subscribing to my channel, and I hope it's been helpful. And do grab my self-invalidation quiz. Also, if you really are in an awakening process and you really need to have someone next to you, I offer you 3 sessions with me as a package that we can really sit down together and help you through becoming gaining more awareness and how you move forward in this situation, how you can get more clarity, how you can protect yourself. These are all kind of things that we can focus on. So if you'd like my help with that one-on-one, or if you'd like to join my program, I suggest for both routes that you do join my email community. There's a link in the description, and then you can email me. You just hit reply on one of the emails, then you get to me. So I hope this has been helpful, and hope to see you again. Have a beautiful day. Bye bye.